Hi, thank you for joining me, Cherie, Weight Loss Journey. Um, Today, I'm kind of proud of myself, right? I followed my diet yesterday. I was tempted to cheat. I did not now. I did eat some hydrated cranberries in my salad, but, is that really a cheat? I don't think so. I'm kind of getting a late start. Going for a walk. Like I said, I don't really like walking in a neighborhood and playing tug of war with my dog, while she tries to get at the dogs behind the fences that are barking mess at her. Okay? Now, I've been following John, let's call him John, who gave up his career as a physician. And he was saying the reason why he gave up his career as a physician was he thought that, being a physician was too safe of a life for him, right? And I was like, okay. Being a physician was too safe of a life for him, right? His father was a physician, so he had to support the genes to actually be casted into becoming a physician, and he became a physician. But the reason why he was not happy was something that happened to him when he was 18 years old, right? I was listening to his story very intently, right? So this guy is talking about how at 18 years old, he wanted to be an actor or get involved in the arts. And then he said he was even writing poetry. Ding, 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 ding. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, I have a feeling that somewhere when he was 18 years old, he came across a woman, right? A woman that was involved in the liberal arts. Women usually, catered more into the liberal arts. And so, she was, involved in, poetry, right? And so when the poetry didn't go over well with this girl, he was like, okay, well then I'll go into the sciences and actually, become the doctor that, my father wants me to be, following in his footsteps. So he became a doctor, and he wanted people to be admirous of him, right? He was clout chasing, right? He talked about how, he made a lot of money, and and he would buy these fancy cars so he could ride around and let people see him. He didn't say it that way, but that's how I interpreted it, right? Because he said he wasn't happy, right? And then, he kept beating himself up, saying that the reason why he wasn't happy is because he became a doctor. And I'm like, I'm not seeing that yet. I'm still not seeing it, right? You're telling me, why you think this, but I'm not seeing it yet. So, anyway, even during this time that he was a doctor and he wasn't getting the fame that he wanted from people, right? He said he had 2 addictions. He actually had 3. But the third one he didn't count as an addiction. But he had 2 addictions. And he said he played video games. He said when he tallied up the number of hours that he spent playing video games with 100 other people online, right? It came to 20,000 hours, right? So I did the math and I was like, 20,000 hours, how many years is that? How many days is that if you spend 8 hours a day, if you spend 4 hours a day? And I was like, okay, let's just say he spent 4 hours a day, because of course this is a doctor, right? So if he's spending, 8 to 12 hours at work, he could probably spend 4 hours a day, playing video games. Okay? So I did the math and it was like 13 years. Well, let's just say 13 and a half years of playing video games. Okay? And I was like, damn, that's a lot of time, right? So he spent 13 and a half years of part-time video playing and interacting and developing a whole community, of playing video games, because video games are interactive. It's not like a long time ago where it's just you and the machine, right? Now it's you, him, her, him, her, and him, her, and etc., etc., etc. Okay. Yeah. So he was like, I was addicted to it. This was my community. And I just knew I had to give it up. I had to tell them goodbye and tell them that, I'm not going to be hanging out with you like this no more. And, yeah. It was like, this guy had literally lived in his avatar. Okay? Where he was, a combat commando and destroying, and killing and being admired for it. Okay? So anyway, I'm like, okay, what's the second one? Because I knew it had to be drugs and alcohol, right? He did kind of throw me a loop to say he was actually, addicted to videos. Because I'm like, how in the world can a doctor be addicted to videos? How in the world? Right? But maybe nobody online knew he was a doctor. Right? Maybe he was able to be whatever he wanted to be in that avatar. Right? He could actually be a killing machine when in real life he was a healer. Ooh, how nice, right? So anyway, he goes on to say that, in a typical day, he would have 2 servings of alcohol a day, right? I heard that before, right? I heard that from my ex. And he said that he had 2 drinks a day to calm him down, so that, he can unwind and have a good rest. And I told him straight up, I said, if you're having 2 drinks a day, you're an alcoholic. And I said, if you want to talk to me, you can't be drinking. I cannot be around drinkers. I'm too mutable. I'm too susceptible to also picking up those bad habits. Get it away from me, or get your ass away from me. So, anyway, I was like, alert. He said serving. He did not say shots. So I was like, okay, this guy's playing games with himself and you by telling you he's having just 2 servings. So anyway, then he went on to say, I started, going on a spiritual journey. I was like, yeah, a spiritual journey. And I was doing drugs. I knew it. You were doing drugs. So now I'm interested. What kind of drugs were you doing? So he says he was doing mushrooms, right? And he said this was the mushroom, like we've seen in the Mario game, right? Where it was a red mushroom with, white polka dots or something like that. And anyway, he said every time that he took this drug, it made him mad, right? And in real life, this person can't express his anger, right? He's kind of repressed. So when he took the mushroom, it enabled him to take, to lash out in anger, right? So in his mind, this was, a needed spiritual journey that he needs to express his anger, right? He needs to express his anger and lash out at human beings around him that he's angry. Okay? And I'm like, is that what you think? Is that really what you think? Right? However, he was lashing out in his anger, but he didn't say why he was angry. Right? So this was just releasing some of the pressure of his anger, but not dealing with the issues behind his anger. And of course, in our society, it could be a number of things. It could be, it could be racism. It could be economics. Because even when we make a lot of money, right? You know, we're kind of forced into having to live in a different neighborhood, right? Because otherwise, you know, you can quickly become a victim, right? Because, you know, people will find ways to, you know, to steal what you have, right? They'll steal what you have. You won't even know they seen you coming and going, and you're Miata. Okay. So, that was one of the disappointing things that, you know, I heard about this particular guy, right? Then I heard, and I keep hearing how, you know, these people are taking these, you know, mushrooms in an effort, you know, to go on a spiritual quest. And the majority of the time, you know, they're saying that, you know, they're experiencing, you know, a dark night of the soul. Okay? And I'm like, okay, so you're going on a spiritual quest to actually identify, you know, your repressed anger and pain, right? Because you can't face those in, you know, your sober mind, because whenever it happened to you, you know, you kind of compartmentalized it and tucked it away where, you know, it will never surface to bother you again. So, yeah, now they need the magical mushrooms to, you know, to treasure hunt that vault and unlock it so they can finally manage a piece of themselves and be peace with themselves. Okay. It's not funny. I made me a protein shake. We're on our way to walk by the lake. And, you know, I guess, you know, I can kind of thank, you know, my lucky stars, you know, my planetary placements, you know, that my Chiron and my Black Moon Lilith has very beautiful placements, right? Otherwise, I could be off the chain like these dudes, right? Like these people. All right, okay. Anyway, I'm really liking the progress that I've made, right? At one time, you know, I wouldn't even want to wear a white t-shirt because it was like, oh gosh, you know, all my bulges are going to be showing, you know. I just can't wear a white t-shirt, you know. Black, can I please wear black, you know. And so it felt really good to wake up today and say, you know, you can put on that white t-shirt, right? Because, you know, we're still getting, you know, 90-degree temperatures, right? I think the high yesterday was 94 degrees, right? Right now it's 82. It's not even noon yet. Close to it, but it's not noon. So it's probably going to become, you know, pretty hot today. And of course, I've already told you that, you know, the shrinkage in my lymph nodes is so soothing. Oh, look at this. You see? You can even see my neck bone and stuff again. Wow. Ooh. Right? And my jawline is kind of hanging in there. So I'm really liking. I'm really loving the fact that I took, a jump start. Because if it would have took me 6 months or a year to get where I'm at right now, that would have took me a whole hell of a lot of discipline and focus that I don't think I would have. I would have went on a whole nother game of of cheating and trying to make up for it. Cheating, trying to make up for it, right? So 2 steps forward and 1 step back. 2 steps forward and 1 step back, right? But, when you see some results, that jump start that I did on the liquid diet, it made it conceivable. Because when I can see it, then I feel like, yeah, I could do this. I could do this. So we're here at the park, at the lakeside. Gonna go for our walk, and we're gonna pick the trail with the trees, because I said it's hot. It's hot. And my last video was talking about people who were taking opioids, right? But today's video is about people who are taking mushrooms, right? And let me tell you something. Taking mushrooms, you can actually go on a trip, a psychedelic trip, and you won't come back to normal. You will not come back to normal. So that's a dangerous spiritual journey that you're choosing to embark yourself on. It's nothing new, right? During the 60s, they used to love to, get into those psychedelics. Huge groups, right? They would have concerts of, people listening to music, taking psychedelics. Yeah, they had a lot of unwanted babies, no doubt. Did things that they never thought they would do. They were involving themselves in the orgies, and I'm not really sure how they came out of it. Maybe, accessibility and, old age and, and stuff like that may have been part of the issue. Because, there's really not a lot written or a culture out here besides, senior housing, for elderly people. Like some of the stuff that we do today, we think that this is who we are, and then old age kicks in, and you can't do what you've been doing. You can't. I'm 63 years old. The things that I thought that, I did, I would always be able to do, and time again, couldn't do, and swore, oh, it's my fault. I just have to keep at it. Just have to keep at it. Right? But, there are just some things that you're just not meant to do your whole life. Right? That's why we didn't come out the womb fully grown. That's why we didn't know everything that we needed to know before we were grown. Hey, calm your butt down. I'll take you back home and you won't even have a walk. Oh my God, the squirrels, the dogs, it's just driving her crazy. Right? And like I said, this girl, she has a hard time getting up in the car, so she thinks she's going to go fight with these animals that can outrun her. Yeah, the delusion is real. The delusion is real. I don't know why that didn't blend. But anyway, I'm going to start my walk, and if I feel like, talking some more, I'll get back online. Okay. The environment is real different lakeside, right? We have a few seniors, a sprinkle of couples, and people who are walking their dogs, right? Because there is a huge, apartment community along, the street up here. And I guess these people come home and, take their dog out for a quick walk. But there's an air of something else, right? Oh yeah. We got a full moon coming up tomorrow, and I think that's what the air is, right? Where it's the full moon in Pisces. What does that mean? Well, that's Neptune, right? That's the 12th house, right? Fantasies, sex, addictions, yeah? Hidden enemies, right? Put them all together and what do you have? You sleeping with the enemy. Okay, stop, Sheree. But that's true, right? We do have the full moon. It's going to be in Pisces, ruled by Neptune, the house of hidden enemies, sex, and fantasies. I guess that was the air I was feeling. So, yeah, stinky, stinky. Good morning. Look at that. Dirty water. Dirty water. Yep, dirty. But isn't it nice to walk down, kind of like a forest pathway without the dirt and the mud, right? So, I'm glad I got out, right? Because, I'm on a weight loss journey. And it's hot out here, right? It's mid 80s. And, yeah, you know? And you know what? It's cooler out here than it is in the house. I don't have central air. So it feels very nice out here. Plus, I'm able to, walk out some of these aches and pains and muscle stiffs that I had gotten from, work yesterday. I did work hard. Yesterday, I didn't take a walk because by the time I got home, I had did already 11,000 steps. And I was like, okay, that's good. We're not trying to break no records here. So I didn't do the walk. Now, if by chance, I get healthier and stronger and more active, that's not to say that I won't, work and take a walk. But right now, baby steps. Baby steps. I'm surprised about how fast, this month has passed. Kind of glad too. Okay. Actually, this whole year. This year has gone by pretty fast. And I'm looking forward to becoming, a full-fledged senior citizen. Yeah, that's a milestone, right? To reach 65 years old. And I was derailed many a times off of my plan, trying to be with a man. But, you know, at that last crossroad, I knew I had to put the gas mask on for myself. Okay? And try to, look out for, you know, my pension, my estate. What can I leave my children? Right? And, you know, if my children are to get anything, it's got to come from me. Because, you know, their fathers have moved on to other women, had other children, and, you know, if they were able to buy lavish toys, they did. They did. You know, if they squandered money, well, it was their money. They should be able to do whatever they want to with their money. And so they did. Um, that female. So, part of me want to walk further than I did before. And just enjoy this fall day. Right? Because I can. And shit. Who says I can't enjoy life? I ain't gonna tell myself that. So, I think I'll walk around this curve and then turn around and come back. You know, when I was younger, yeah, I think it's like 24 miles or 26 miles around this lake, you know, and the ride around this lake, wasn't going to be an impossible feat. It would probably take me 2 hours. Um, so, yeah, I am already thinking about, you know, what do I need to prepare my food. And I really got everything that I need, right? I got my spinach. I got some hard-boiled eggs. If I want to have breakfast food, I have sausage and egg whites. So the thing that I have to keep remembering is that I have what I need for right now. Okay? Once, 2025 gets here, we'll be able to expand a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. Hopefully by then, we will have our portion size down. We will have our fiber intake down. And, I just have to face the facts that I'm in food prison. Right? But I don't think I could handle, years and years of food prison, just to lose 30 pounds. Okay? I don't think I can handle that. That's why I opt for the fast start, the 2-week liquid protein diet. And you know what? To be honest, you never know. I might do another smaller liquid diet fast. Maybe for a day. Maybe for 2 days. Maybe for 3 days. Maybe for 7 days. Okay? But the choice is mine. Now, I did watch some episodes where there were people that, was trying too hard, to lose weight too fast. And, they caused themselves some problems. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more, right? Because I seen it. I didn't really pay attention to it. But it was, what comes to mind was this episode where this lady has stopped eating because she wanted to, lose the 30 pounds required by her doctor so that she could have the weight loss surgery. And she ended up in the hospital. They didn't really... Oh, what a pretty doggy, huh? Yeah. Big pretty doggy. They didn't get into the details of why she ended up in the hospital. Some kind of complications. Also, another thing was stated but not highlighted was, you can't corrupt your fast start, because even though you get a fast start, eventually your fast start will slow itself down when your body, adjusts to the amount of food that you have been eating. Okay? So it's not like you can just cheat and not eat and then, you know, your body won't go into self-defense mode. And slow your metabolism down accordingly. Okay, now let's head back. Come around. So, yeah, I walked a little bit further. It hasn't gotten real hot out here, so I thought it was okay to do so. And I'm gonna cut this video off here because I need time to process and contemplate some of the things that I said. Okay? Thank you for watching Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. Bye. Outfit of the day.